I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record, 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 for the record. Been a little too nice to y'all. Now I gotta up price for y'all. Snake eyes on dice for y'all. Shoulders on ice for y'all. A6 all the hate. I won't get a ball today. Got lost in the ball and A's. I'm flipping the bars, I'm flipping the on record, off record. I still count wins when they got it. On record, off record. I let them take advantage. I was wildin'. On record, off record deals. Tell them talk to Colin for the quote. On record, off record. I still want the act, not the ghost.
Hey guys, welcome to Beyond the Ring with Nonito and Rachel. This episode is part 2 of a 3-part series, so make sure that you watch part 1 and then come back and watch this episode. Now, the series is about social media court. Social media court is where we all have a thought in our head about who is innocent and who is guilty and put it out there as if it's fact. And our perception of what reality is affects these boxers and their careers. It also affects the decisions of the companies that are supposed to be putting on these cards. For example, Showtime, for example, PBC. They have to sit down and look at these narratives that are going around and decipher for themselves if they have to pull a fighter from a card because of allegations, not even found guilty because of a trial. Allegations, they're pulling fighters out. Now, you're probably wondering, why in the world are we talking about this? Well, because no other than Gervonta Tank Davis had gotten arrested Tuesday night in Miami, Florida for domestic violence. Keep in mind, he's supposed to fight Hector Garcia on January 7th. But before we even talk about Tank Davis, we're actually going to go back to a prior opponent of Tank Davis. I'm telling you, there's this weird little string that's connecting these 3 boxers. We're going to talk about Rolly Romero. Now, if you remember Rolly Romero, he's supposed to fight December 5th on Showtime against Tank. And so what do you do when you announce a fight? You go and do interviews, you do press conferences, you do photo shoots, and your name starts to go around Twitter. So I'm sure around the time, a couple months before, after they announced the fight, they're over there getting all the press and trending. And there was one person in particular that wasn't really happy to hear his name. Her name was Isabel Zambrano. And she went on Twitter and stated, "I hate seeing this sexual assaulter everywhere." Whew. Those are some pretty heavy, serious words. Pretty heavy, serious words to say. And I'm going to assume that after she tweeted this, she got people to ask her back, well, if there was something wrong, why didn't you say anything? Why didn't you go to the cops? And she followed up with, "The cops have been called and they've taken my statement today. Please stop with that narrative now." Now, I can't tell you what the narrative was because her Twitter account's gone. And we'll show that later, but she has mysteriously disappeared off Twitter from that handle that was shown on the screenshots. But before she went missing on Twitter, she did put out a couple other statements stating that there were 7 more other women that had a familiar story. "We have the same exact story and didn't know until I came forward. This is your friend. This is the real Rolando Rolly Romero." And then she backs it up with 3 more women came forward. So I apologize, 8. It's 8. 8 is the number. So what happened after these tweets came about and a police report was filed and they had taken her statement? Well, Rolly Romero was pulled from the Tank Davis fight after sexual assault allegations. Didn't have a choice there. They pulled him. He didn't step out. He was more than willing to be a part of the investigation and cooperate, but he lost the fight date with Gervonta Tank Davis. Supposedly his biggest purse to date. And he went in and stayed with his family, the people that really loved him and protected him and kept by his side while this investigation was going through. But who was it that replaced Rolly? If you remember, it was Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz replaced Rolly Romero. Remember how I keep saying that there's this weird thread, a worm, a thread that has pretty much attached these three fighters in different storylines, and you'll see it. But I want to remind you who stands behind Isaac Cruz. Sean Givens, allegedly of MP Promotions. I say allegedly because I haven't seen any paperwork that actually state he's the president. I pulled the Security and Exchange docs, and legally he is not on the board of directors, so I don't know how he says he's the president. Anyway, whole different story. We'll go back to that dark hole another day. So, with this being said, Rolly had to sit out. And when the investigation was going on, of course, Rolly had plenty to say. Let's listen to this audio clip from TMZ when Rolly was at a fight, waiting for the investigation to be over.
You had to pull out of your fight, obviously, with allegations.
I'm pull out.
I know,
I'm pull
what
out.
do you have to say? You want to address the allegations that were levied against you?
I mean, if my lawyer's not here, I'm not allowed to talk about that, but let's just say it like this. That's some bull.
That's some
Simple
bullshit.
as that.
Now, you still want to fight Tank? You still want to fight Tank?
No, I don't want to fight him. I can see why none of his opponents say anything, because the second I say something miraculously, I'm not there no more. But I'm not going to
Your name will be cleared. Yeah, he definitely what? Will your name be cleared?
No, but no, I'm innocent.
No, you're saying you're innocent?
No, I am innocent, man.
Okay, all right. So we'll see you back in the ring when?
Working on whenever.
Hey, stay up.
Whenever.
Stay up,
Whenever.
champ.
Yeah.
Stay up, champ.
Rolly is forever. Don't ever forget that.
Good on you, Rolly, for not saying anything, not taking the bait and saying any more detail than you had to, but that you were innocent, because it allowed them to complete the investigation and close it. Now, one of the scary parts of the investigation that I found extremely alarming was the fact that Detective Jordan Vargason had wrote, quote, "The allegations do not meet the elements of the crime of sexual assault." The woman stated that when she voiced her demands that Romero cease particular acts during their time together, he did cease to perform those acts. So Isabel said stop, and he stopped. This is what the detective said her statement was. But before her statement came out, everyone on social media had decided if he was guilty or innocent. And the problem with deciding already and making it very, very loud from the rooftop, he can never get that time back. He can never get that purse back. He could also never get his name back, because people who did not see the little small fine print that says, hey, Rolly's charges were dropped, they still believe that this happened. And that's saddening. We should not be anywhere near condemning someone when we don't have the facts in front of us. And if you do, because it is in our human nature to do so, then correct your wrong, because that's only right. So until next time, you guys, make sure you hit that like, subscribe button, and stay tuned for part 3 of our series. And I'm actually considering doing a bonus round clip. We'll stay tuned and see if I ended up doing it. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye.
I'm Johnriel. And I am Logan. Thank you for watching this video. And don't forget to like and subscribe the video. And hit the bell. Ding, ding, ding. KO! Jinx, got ya.
Nonito
the name.